Yo, what is up guys? I'm back. Today we're going to cover some more mechanics. The topic for today is how to hold a basic dribble. And what I mean by that is basically being able to hold the ball on top of your car without dropping it, alright? That's what we're going to talk about today. So there's going to be two parts to this video. Part one is how to actually catch the ball, and then the second part is how to hold it. We have a lot of information to cover today, so I'm gonna just hop here into free play and I'm gonna just get the details sorted out right now. All right, so I've loaded up free play here, right? I'm in the arena. All right, so part one to being able to hold the ball on top of your car is we have to actually get it on the top of our car, right? Like you can't dribble the ball on top of your head if it's not already there, right? So yeah, you could like spawn the ball on your head like that, but that's, you know, it doesn't really count, okay? Because you haven't really taught yourself how to give it to yourself, right? In terms of like, you know, how to get on top of your car. So there's two ways, or not two ways, but you know, that's the main focus right now is that we catch the ball, right? So we have to actually get the ball on top of our car. Now, how do we do that, all right? So there's multiple ways to go about this. So way number one is just to go and like cut at an angle, right? And just go from there. So you get one big hit. Sort of, doesn't have to be too hard, right? You just cut into it, and then, you know, we get something like that, right? So I would say that there's multiple ways to catch the ball. There's literally an infinite number of ways to catch the ball, right? The ball could also be going at different speeds, right? Like it's not always going to go at the same speed. So the ball could start no momentum like this, right? So like when it has no momentum, it could already have momentum, you know? But really, the best way to catch the ball is just to cut out in front of it, right? So, like, come out to the side, get in front of it, and then cut in, right? And then it pops perfectly, right? Or, let's say the ball's coming right at you, and you just get a little tap, right? There you go, right? So, the catch itself, like, doesn't require, really, like, you to hit the ball super hard. You just have to just get a little pop, and then, you know, once you get really comfortable with the catch bit, which, again, it's going to take some practice. I'm going to show you guys some drills, how we can get the catch perfected, right? But in order to get the ball, right, so in order to even get to the dribble phase, like this thing, we have to learn how to catch it, because if we don't know how to catch it, then we'll never even be able to start learning it, right? Because the catch is important, okay? So the first drill that I like to use when it comes to catching the ball, at least for beginners, right, is just to go for the ball and kickoff or spawn, right? So if I respawn the ball here, right, is just go off a spawn and then go at a straight line at it, right? And then just get comfortable, like just driving at it when it's in that resting position and trying to, you know, push it up under your car, right? So again, the premise here is that you don't need a lot of power. You just need to get pushed a little bit, and then it should, you know, land up right underneath your car, right? So you should get, so for beginners, right, just make it your goal. Just to start out, is that every time you spawn the ball in free play, to just try and nudge it, get on top of your car, and then see if you can hold out the dribble to the end, right? Like I would say that this is probably the most like basic in terms of a drill, just starting out, right? Like if I were to give any drill to beginners, it'd be this one. It's just to use the kickoff or whatever it is, the spawn, and then see if you can catch it, right? And like I said, you don't need to give it a lot of power. You just gotta give it a little nudge, a little boost, and then it should pop up there, right? All right, you guys, so I'm gonna jump in here. This is a pack I created myself. It's called Dribble Pack for Ciara. It's because, and the reason it's named that is because I created this pack for a different individual who was looking for the same type of training, and I just kind of made a quick pack for her, all right? But anyone else can use it too. It doesn't matter, right, who I made it for. Anyone can use this pack. So we're gonna jump in here. I'm gonna show you guys some examples of how I use this pack, or anyone can use this pack to learn how to catch the ball, all right? And just a quick reminder, everyone, all the packs and everything I use in the video here will be in the description, so don't forget to check that. Alright, so I've loaded up the first shot here in the pack, alright? And it's pretty similar. Like, the shot from just the kickoff earlier, it's not that much different, right? It's just going to roll at you, right? And then all you need is a little nudge. Bang. You basically don't even have to do anything, right? Because it's just going to roll at you, right? So if I just let the ball roll at me, right? I don't even have to move. Watch. Bang. Then it just pops for me, right? I don't even have to move, right? That's literally how little power you need to get a catch, right? You guys see that? So I don't even have to move here if I didn't want to, right? And it's all about just getting underneath the ball at that point, right? That's all it is. So depending on how much power you guys get on the ball here, the harder it is it's going to be catch, because you're going to have to, you know, catch up to it, whatever, because depending on how hard you hit it. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to hit super hard, right? Like that, right? Alright, you see how much extra work I have to do to catch it? Because I have to go way farther to compensate for the amount of power I gave it, right? So I want you guys to make it your goal, because again, most of you are gonna hit it too hard, right? And then you're gonna like struggle to get underneath it like that, right? So just make it your goal right now to just like get a soft touch, right? And then, you know, start from there, right? Basic catch. All right, look at the second one here. This is, again, it's the same exact thing. It's just a different spot in the field that we're doing it, right? Bang, catch, right? Just get, you know, get that card underneath, and then the rest of it is the dribble technique, which again, we'll be talking about later in the video, right? We'll get into that, right? But just for now, right, we're gonna practice our catches. So just catching the ball, bang, a little soft pop, and then catch it, right? That's the first part. Because again, you have to catch it before you can dribble it, right? All right, I skipped to shot number 4. Again, this is the exact same thing, like as in the ball spawn example, right? It's the same thing, right? Still a good drill, right? Just to go from there. All right, so now we're on shot number 5. So shot number 5, I'm going to show you guys how you're supposed to do this shot, right? So it's basically like training wheels for dribbling, right? So once you're done, like once you get really good at those catches, right? We're gonna have to start learning how to actually control the ball when it's on top of our car, right? So this is a cool drill I like to use, at least for beginners, is where we use the sidewall as like a kind of like training wheels, right? Like, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So it's gonna roll up the wall here, and then we're gonna try and sit on the side of it, like this, and then we're just gonna like basically, you know, feather our gas and our brake on the sidewall here, right? And this is gonna give you, like, at least for beginners, anyways, like a basic like feel for like, okay, like how much do I need to put on the gas when I have the ball on top of my car that I won't drop, right? I just like to iterate once again. This is like this is basically training wheels for people who are like just getting started on dribbles, right? Like this is what we use. This is what I tend to recommend people, is that we use the sidewall like this, and we just drive on the side of it, right? And just get a feel for that, right? Honestly, I feel this is a pretty good drill for that. Okay, so next to shot, I'm gonna just do this example one more time if I didn't show it already, right? And then, you know, once you get pretty comfortable with this and this gets too easy, then your next challenge is that when you wrap around here and you get to the end of the wall here and there's no more wall left, then try and catch it, right? Look. Okay, get to here and then try and catch it. See if you can push it up, and then try and catch it, right? And then, you know, see how far you can get, but otherwise, you know, just use the wall. Okay, so for shot number 7, I deliberately want you guys to hit the ball kind of hard and then see, like, and then try and adjust, right? Just because it is coming at you a little bit harder, right? But if you can, like, get a feel for, like, okay, well, if the ball hits really hard and I have my ball come off, right? Like, how far do I need to drive before, you know, so I can catch it, right? Like, even just this right here, just like this basic, just, you know, hit it forward, right? Try and catch it. That's still pretty hard for a lot of people, so, like, don't slack on it, right? So just big hit, you know, and then, you know, just get a feel for it. Get a feel for, like, how the ball, like, reacts to your car, right? When you hit it like that, right? It's all about feel, right? Feel and practice. We're going to feel it out, and we're going to practice it, right? We're going to hit the ball, right? And, you know, see how it pops, right? And then just get a feel for, like, okay, the micro adjustments of, like, okay, how far do you need to get, you know, using your boost, gas, whatever you got, right? Just get comfortable with it. Practice it, right? Practice. That's how it is, right? Okay, last shot for this catch example. So from here on, right, once you get super duper comfortable with everything else I just showed you, then the goal of this last shot is just to make you more uncomfortable. Like, just make the catch a little bit more uncomfortable, right? Because, again, the ball's not always going to roll at you perfectly on the ground with no bounces, right? So there's going to be some form of bounces eventually, right? So if you can learn how to catch the ball, like when it's bouncing like this, right? Look at that. There we go. Nice. See? So if you can work with, like, it not being a perfect setup every time, that's great, because you're not always going to get a perfect setup every time, right? So if you just get comfortable, like, with how it reacts off your car and getting comfortable, getting underneath it, that's good. That's great, right? But it's just that catch. The catch is important. All right, so the next training pack we're going to cover here is one from Wayton. Wayton already made a video on this one, so I'll just link it down in the description in case you guys haven't watched it yet. But I'm going to just go ahead, put my own little spin on it of his pack here, and just kind of get more in depth here with the dribbles. All right, so this is how we're basically going to, at least without any workshop maps, this is how we're going to end up working on our dribble control, right? And the reason I taught you guys how to catch the ball first before the dribble part is because, like I said, if you want to actually get this stuff going in a real game, you have to learn how to catch it, right? Either in free play or just somewhere else, right? But you have to learn how to catch the ball. Otherwise, you're never going to get these perfect setups like Wayne's giving you in these packs, right? They're not realistic. You're not going to just get the ball handed to you like this every game, right? So you have to learn how to, like, generate your own bounces and generate your own catches, right? So that you can get into the dribble motion, and then you know. But like I said, it's a two-part thing. All right, so this is the second part. So part number 2, after you get the actual catch, right, you have to actually learn how to dribble the damn ball, right? You have to learn how to keep it on top of your head, right, and have that control. So I'm going to break this down real smooth for you guys, okay? Real smooth. So step number 1 to shot 1, right, is we're not going to turn, we're not going to do anything, right? We're just going to use the gas button, okay? That's all we're going to use. I'm just going to use gas, and that's how we're going to control the ball in the first shot. Because like I said, because for this first shot, the ball doesn't move at all. It's literally perfect to where if you just drive through it, and that's it, it won't move, okay? So watch. Just going to use my gas button here. Because again, the way he designed the shot is that you don't need boost, you don't need anything. You can just use gas, right? No turns, no nothing, and you can control the ball, right? And I obviously I commend Wayton for this, because that's basically the most important thing, right? That's like dribbling 101, is that if you can't do this, you're probably going to struggle with everything else, right? Yeah. So step number 1 is literally just getting the feel for just how gas affects the ball, right? Just feathering your gas, getting a feel for, okay, well, how hard do I need to press down on gas, right, to get the dribble going. And just a little quick tip here, you guys. So when you are going for these dribbles, right, the more like underneath the ball you are, like the more center, right, the slower the ball is going to go, but the more control you'll have, right? Right? So if you can just like learn to be able to keep the ball real close like that, yeah, it's going to be really easy. And then of course, once you guys start getting a bit more practice and that becomes a little too easy, then we're going to start incorporating some speed changes where you can like try and mess around with like how fast or slow you can move the ball. So you can try going super slow, like slow as possible, or if you want, you can try and lean towards the edge and then try and speed it up with some boost, right? That sort of thing. So this first shot, again, I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but it gives you the freedom to like experiment with like just the feel, right? Like there's like no turning, nothing. Like you don't have to turn, right? Turning adds a lot more complexity, right? Because we're not ready yet. We're not ready to start turning the ball yet, because that's just too much information at once, right? So just starting out super basic, right, like this is going to help you guys a ton if you guys haven't started doing this already. So here's shot number 2 again. So for this one, the ball is not quite perfect enough. Like it's got a little bit of off center, off spawn, so you actually will have to turn with the ball now instead. So if I go ahead here and I try and go in a straight line, it's just going to fall off, because again, Wayton designed that so that it would go not perfect. So at this point, you would still apply the same concept, like, okay, let's try and stay close to the ball. Let's try and stay close underneath it, right? Right in the middle, right? And then, again, like I said, you guys, so if you just stay underneath the middle, like as much as possible, right? And don't exaggerate your stick movement too much, then it's actually really hard to mess it up at that point. Because, again, if you just stay under here, even if I turn like crazy like this, you know, it's just going to stay underneath, right? Because, again, you're so, like, directly underneath the ball that, like, even the biggest of turns, like, don't result in you dropping it, right? So even though I'm, like, throwing my stick around, right, it's not doing much because there's not that much to go off of, right, for the ball. Like, it's not moving a whole lot. So I just stay underneath here. Like, even if I throw my stick around, like you guys see down there, even if I just throw it around, as long as I stay underneath the middle, like, nice and good in the middle, right, it doesn't matter. I can't even mess it up, like, no matter how much I throw my stick around. You see that? So if you guys can just, like, focus up on just, like, staying underneath the ball as much as possible, then it's gonna be a lot easier. Because again, look at this control, right? It's simpler than trying to like outspeed yourself, right? It's a lot simpler than just trying to like, you know, go in front of the ball, behind the ball, boost. You know, this is too jagged, too much. Like you can't like focus, right? There's too much input. Okay, so just like focus and keep it simple. Alright, I didn't really know this, but I guess Wayton here added a couple of catches of his own. But again, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as that Ciara pack I created. Like, it's the same concept, right? Like, we have to catch it, and then we have to dribble it, right? But in order for you to start dribbling, you have to actually catch it first, right? That's more game-like, that's more realistic, right? You have to actually catch it, and then you add the dribble, yeah? And here we go, shot 6. Like, again, it's just going to progressively get harder and harder, right? There's different angles, different speeds, different levels of bounces, you know, all that stuff, right? It just gets progressively harder as you play the pack more and more. So here's the last shot, shot number 16. Let me give this a shot so we can catch it. Yeah, see, just very awkward angle, right? But still the same idea, right? So there's definitely different levels to this sort of thing, right? we're just gotta work up to that, right? So just to recap once again, you guys, for at least for anyone who doesn't have access to workshop maps, I would say that this Wayton dribbling pack is probably the next best thing, as it does very much challenge you. That there is a lot of room to challenge you, like from between many ranks in this pack. So, like I said, if you guys are a beginner and you just start out playing Wayton's pack and you guys can't get past the second shot, don't worry about it, because like I said, if I haven't said before, dribbles like these, the ground dribbles, they have a high skill ceiling, right? They're very hard. They take a lot of practice to master, right? That's why it's part of the basics, right? The basics are hard. Master the basics, you know, you get good, whatever, right? So don't feel bad if you guys can't like get it down right away, right? Or if you can't even get past the third shot, right? Like, even if you guys, like, again, like I said, people who are just starting out have a hard time with even the first few shots, like, don't worry about it. It's hard. It's a hard mechanic. It takes a lot of practice. I have literally thousands of hours in it. Like, I may as well have many, many hours doing this. So, like, don't feel bad if you don't get it the right away. So, I'm getting here towards the end of the video now here, guys, but I'm going to cover this last form of training, and that's the Dribble 2 overhaul pack, or workshop map, sorry. And I'm telling you guys right now, I've been playing this map for years. Actually years, bro. Like, literally been playing it for years. And it's helped me so much. So, if you guys have access to the Dribble 2 overhaul map, then you need to play it. You, like, absolutely need to play it. No questions asked. Just play this. Just play the map, okay? Because it literally has helped me so much in terms of ability, right? I can't really stress to you guys, like, how much this map has helped me over the years. Like, get better at dribbling, right? It's literally probably the best form of training, in my opinion, in the whole game. To get better at dribbles, right? Like, I never go into this map and feel unsatisfied. It's always been there for me, and it's always been a great map to teach me how to do this, right? All right, so if you guys come out of this video with any message, is that if you can use workshop maps and you have the ability to play this map, play it. All right, I don't want to hear any excuses. You're just gonna play this map. I don't care if you say you can't dribble. If you suck at it, you just play this map. I don't care what you say. You just play it. All right. And once again, it still uses the same concept. Like, you still have to get a catch, right? And then you still have to control it. And then it even adds, like, turns, right? Turns, jumps, like, it adds a bunch of stuff, right? It elevates your dribble game to the next level. There's no question about it. Hell, it even gives you obstacles to go around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many levels to dribbling that can't be explained, you know? But this map brings it all out of you. Every single one. Every single little mechanic, every single little everything, literally everything. I could go on and on about why this map is literally OP and that it just teaches you everything, but it just does. Like, there's nothing you miss here. Like, look, up there, catch down, like, it never ends. This map never ends in terms of, like, how great it is, right? There's just so much you can do. Like, it goes on forever. So if I'm gonna end this video on any note, it's to play this map. If you can play it, just play it, right? Because, look, there's nothing, I have nothing else to say. Nothing but good things to say about this map. Alright, you guys, this will be the end of the tutorial here. Hopefully I gave you guys a bunch of resources to help with your basic dribbles. But assuming you use all those resources and you guys put in the time, I guarantee at some point, if you guys work hard, that you'll be able to hold the dribble. And like I said, maybe even if you start using those workshop maps or just whatever you got to help push you, right? You can push your limits. It's endless. But like I said, that's it for the tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
you.